welcome to Social Videos. My name is Joan and today I'm back with a really cute DIY. I've been seeing some TikToks about it. Showed in their video were these Chinese knot keychains, which is what we're going to be making today. Tell me these don't look actually so cute. As someone with like Taiwanese Chinese heritage, it's actually kind of cool seeing these like more cultural symbols become a bit more trendy in kind of the fashion accessory space. Yeah, if you're like me and you've been seeing these around and think they're really cute, well hopefully this DIY tutorial video will help you guys make your very own Chinese knot keychains. Materials and timestamps of steps will be listed down in the description below as always. For the first part, I'll be covering just how to do the simple knot, as well as this cute butterfly knot. And that's honestly all you need to kind of make your simple keychain, but I'll also be showing how I've kind of customized it and made it a bit more extra and unique for myself. Okay, with that, let's get on with the video.
So honestly, the only thing you'll need is paracord type of material to make your knot. And essentially you can choose whatever color or thickness you'd like, but thicker would be easier to use if you're a beginner. So for this video, I'm making 3 sizes. For the first one, it's essentially not necessarily bigger, but just longer of a tail, which I like so that you can just trim it to however long you want it to hang. And I measured it from fingertip to fingertip, which for me would be about 1.5 meters. For this smaller size lucky knot, again, the knot itself isn't smaller, just the tail part. I essentially measured it from fingertip to the other shoulder. And then lastly, for these little ones with the thinner cord, I also just measured from fingertip to shoulder, or about 70 centimeters. And this last special knot, which is kind of this butterfly knot, I essentially use about fingertip to fingertip, just a bit less. The general rule of thumb I'd go by is to go longer rather than shorter, because you can always cut back any extra length, but you can't grow back any extra. So first step to making the knot is connecting your 2 ends and making a loop at the top. If it's easier for you, you can tape it down. And essentially you're then going to make 2 kind of loops on the right and left side of your original loop at around, as best you can, the same size. I feel like this first part is genuinely the hardest just because you kind of have to pinch all of the loops so that they stay the same size and that they're held together. But once you're happy with the size, you can essentially take your tail end of the open parts of the cord and you essentially want to place it up so that it's resting on top of your left loop. Now the hole this made is essentially really important since we'll need to use it for later to complete our knot. You can either try to remember where it is, or a hack I like to do is just put a thin thread or something through the loop so we can see it later. Now for the next part, you're going to take your left loop and now making sure that it's folding on top of the part that you just placed over it, you're going to now place it so that it's crossing over the top loop. This trend essentially stays the same where you're kind of just placing and crossing loops. I like to think of it as you're kind of placing loops so that they're pointing towards the different corners of a square. So for this case, I'm taking that top loop, pointing it down to the bottom right, and then I'm going to finish that square taking my right loop, crossing it over to the left, and I'm actually going to put the head of the loop through the original hole that we made with our first fold over. This is where that thread comes in handy because you can see what part you're supposed to put it through, and then you essentially want to take all the parts that are sticking out and just start tightening up that knot. It may seem really loose at first, but you kind of just have to trust the process, tug on the loops, tug on all of them at the same time, tug on them in pairs, and slowly but surely you'll essentially get what looks like this. And the next step is actually kind of doing the same fold over knotting process, but starting with the left loop and now going counterclockwise. Again, you want to keep in mind this first hole that you're making and then continue on with the folding. I'm going to next take my bottom loop, fold it up to the top, making sure it's crossing over the loop I just put over, and then taking that right loop and then folding it over towards the left, making sure again it's crossing over the loop I just used. And then the last step is taking your free ends of the cord and putting them through that original hole we made. Make sure you're also pinching down and holding the other loops that you've essentially knotted, as now it's time to tighten and form the knot by just again tugging on those loops that are sticking out until you get a finished knot in the middle. Again, a lot of adjusting will kind of be needed, but you'll see that this one tightens up as well. And once you're happy with how the loops look and how tight your knot is, we're just going to add some extra details by pulling on these mini loops that are in between the long ones. And to help, you can also stick in a small paintbrush or pencil to help kind of make that space. And then to finish it all off, you essentially can just adjust, pull, tighten up your knot or loosen it however you'd like. And with that, you're essentially done your Chinese lucky knot. Feel free to also clean up the ends of your knot as well. For For example, mine was fraying, so I just snipped off the excess pieces and then used a lighter to kind of melt off and secure the ends. I feel like for this too, you can kind of get some freedom if you want one end to be longer than the other, or maybe purposely frayed as well. And now I also want to show that this type of Chinese lucky knot could also be done with some thinner string. I feel like this could be really nice if you wanted a smaller keychain or maybe a phone charm keychain as well. But the process is essentially the same. Again, making those loops, putting them over each other to make your first initial knot. And then after adjusting and tightening the knot, then redoing the loops going the other way in counterclockwise direction. Making sure to fold over and tuck in those last few ends before doing the final adjustments and tightenings of the knot to have your finished keychain. I will say I think it's easier to do the thicker version of the keychains, but the result is just the same, if not cuter, and just a mini version. Now I also wanted to show a tutorial for another knot that I ended up trying, which is essentially the butterfly knot. I will say as a heads up though, this one was a lot harder than I thought it was gonna be, but it did turn out pretty nice, so I'm just including it in this video anyways. So to recap, first step is just taking the two ends of my string, putting them together to make a loop on one end, and then making a knot to secure that loop up top. And then now we're on to making the loops for kind of the wings of the butterfly. You'll then take your free ends, cross them over across the middle of your butterfly, and then take your right end and fold it from backwards to forwards into that bottom loop, and then forwards to backwards on that top loop. It's a weird thing to think about, but it's almost like you're stabbing a carrot into a snowman from the back of his head to forward, and then from the front of his head to backward. You're gonna take the end of the string and put it from backwards to forwards for that middle loop, which we just loosened, and then you're gonna put in that end of the string back into that very first loop, the bottom wing of the butterfly that we had originally put it through. Now comes adjusting the wings, which is my least favorite part. Just make sure you don't pull too hard, otherwise you risk losing those loops that make up the wings. Once you've adjusted so the wings are sized to your liking and aren't lost, you essentially do the same thing with your left side, putting the string from back to front on that bottom loop, front to back in that top loop, and then back through the middle, and then back from front to back on that bottom left loop. And then of course it's back to adjusting and tightening kind of that middle portion there. I think this particularly is what makes this knot hard, as it never felt like the knot was perfectly secure. But to get rid of the looseness, I definitely did a method of both pulling on the two ends of the wings, but of course don't pull them apart since that's what happens. But essentially just tugging on the wings all together, as well as tugging on those free ends, and specifically focusing on the knots and folds in the middle. With some time and adjusting and patience, you'll essentially get a decently secure knot. However, it might take a bit of time, as it did for me. But again, as a forewarning, it just never stays fully tight. Not as tight as the original Chinese lucky knot, but thankfully I was able to get it to a place where I thought it felt pretty alright and it looked pretty nice. So with the ends, I just knotted them all together to finish off my butterfly knot. Now, while the keychain itself is essentially finished, I wanted to include some ways that I kind of spiced it up to make the keychains a bit more aesthetic and unique and a bit more personalized. So first is making these eye pin keychains. I essentially just took these seed beads that I had just lying around in my place, layered them randomly onto each other, and finished off with kind of this statement bead that I had. Used some pliers to close off and loop the end of the eye pin. Got to make sure that it's fully secure so the beads don't slip off. And essentially to make the Chinese knot an actual keychain, of course we are going to need a key ring. For this one I just attached it straight onto the paracord, and I opened up a jump ring, looped it through kind of the middle of the knot, and used pliers to close that up with the eye hole keychain to fully complete my Chinese lucky knot keychain. I feel like this is a pretty simple way to just make the design a bit more extra, and I also did it for this small one here. For the smaller ones, you can also attach a few jump rings onto your key rings so that it looks more like a keychain or phone charm. And if you don't have eye pins, I tried just making kind of that dangly keychain bit with the seed beads with some stretchy string. I feel like fishing wire would also be fine in this case. And after double knotting one of the ends, I just strung up the beads and just tied it all off again with another double knot, making sure it's secure so the beads don't fall out. and then essentially use that little bit of extra loop to tie it onto the keychain, again using a jump ring through that middle section. Now one more little extra thing that I decided to add was actually my family's Chinese name or character, so feel free to do this with either another character that's relevant to you or a just picture, drawing, whatever it may be. With the image that you have, make sure to flip it before tracing it onto your shrink plastic paper. I just used a Sharpie to fill in everything that I needed to. And make sure you're drawing on the rougher side of your plastic shrink paper so your character is facing the right way on the shiny side. And once you're done tracing and drawing, make sure to cut a border around your design. Use a hole punch to make sure it's ready to be made into a keychain. Toss it into the oven with the heat directions on your shrink paper. Once it stops shrinking and it's fully flat, using a jump ring to attach it to the rest of my lucky knot. I'm essentially done using the shrink paper as a way to personalize my keychain even more. Last thing I did was to put all my keychains on the bags that I wanted them to go on to see what they looked like, make any adjustments that I thought were needed, such as trimming off the excess and burning it off to make sure it doesn't fray. And with that, I was basically done. I'm super happy with the results and I'd highly recommend people to try making their own. Just make sure to do some research on the cultural meaning behind some of these knots, making sure you're respectful and appreciating the culture behind it all. But with that, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!